How you guys doing? Alright, we're about to watch a video, and I'm not gay bashing at all. It just happens to be this guy is what he's talking about. And I'm just pointing out the reptilian eyes, because this is what you call a reptilian alien. And for those of you who are not familiar with this stuff, go look at your brain chart. You have a reptilian core to your brain. It's said to be responsible for fight or flight. That response that you have when you're in danger. Most people have a slit in their eye. If you zoom in real close on images like I would, you discover that that reptilian brain puts slits in people's eyes. You'll have to go through about, I don't know, 4 or 5 photos, zooming in real close before you discover that miraculously everybody has a slit in their eye. You just have to dig through photos. You'll see it. And don't be shocked. I love it when people leave me emails. I don't have a slit in my eye. Listen to me, people. You have a reptilian core to your brain. You're only kidding yourself. Send me 12 of your photos. I guarantee I'll zoom in professionally and I'll find a slit in one of your eyes. Yeah, you're the only one with a reptilian core to your brain and no hint of reptilian in you. You're the slave class, people, the food class. These guys will eat you. They will certainly rape you and drink your blood. You need to unite peacefully for your survival, if not love for each other. And get to my channel for truth. How's it going? Thanks for joining me. So we're going to go over a few things right now, and I'm sure you're going to love them. This is going to be a good video. One of the things people keep asking me about is these chakras. And I'm going to give you a good example about the chakra thing. You have a headache. You have to go to the store and you get drugs for that headache. You get sick, you have a sore throat, you go to the store, you get drugs to fix your sore throat. You have heart problems, you go to a doctor, you get pills for your heart or whatever, or you get aspirin regimen. You have to get more drugs. You have tummy problems, okay, you get Pepto-Bismol, whatever. You know, every one of the chakras match up to a different part of your body that you are being sucked dry of your money and your foods. I can drag them across water. You see that in my video using only a neodymium magnet. It doesn't work with the regular magnet like off your refrigerator. It's got to be a neodymium one. But hold on, you have bowel problems, you will go get medication, see a doctor. You have sex problems, you will buy shit off TV or whatever it is that you do. They're constantly beating you with all this stuff. You have, okay, so here, this is for every chakra on your body. There's you're being milked, okay? You're being fed stuff that's giving you problems, and then you're milked every possible way. And then on top of that, they tell you to go do this and do that with your chakras and this and that. And people, listen, this thing that's built into you, okay? You get a headache, you get a frog in your throat, you get a pain in your heart, you get hungry, you get horny, you need to take a shit or piss. These are the 7 chakras. You get your scalp tightens up when you get freaked out. All right, you have 2 at the soles of your feet. So when I tell you look at the sun, that's the soul. You put your bare soles on soil. And the windows to your soul, which are your eyes, you look at the sun. Now, what I'm telling you is that this is like rectifying. This will rectify you. That's what it's done to me. It's like straightened me up. It's given me the ability to you know, the sun is conscious, to see that the sun is absolutely conscious. There's no question about that. Now, I was pointing out about the iron foods. Okay, somebody pointed out about the cell towers being able to, you know, send out a high pulse that would make things fry up. And they're military grade, and that they could kill us all with a switch if they wanted to. So that was something that somebody pointed out with the iron mixed with the cell towers sending out microwaves, and that they could cook us in our sleep. So somebody pointed that out to me. And also, like, if magnetic mountain, you know, maybe there's so much iron that if we went to that magnetic mountain, it would be like Magneto ripping our bodies to shreds so that we couldn't actually go to there because of the iron in the diet or something like that. These are things that I'm looking into and I'm going to figure out, because we all need to figure this shit out. Because the iron in our diet is not supposed to be there, people. So, not in the levels that is in our bodies right now.
Okay, you're not being fed bioavailable iron. I could drag all your food across water using a neodymium magnet, and it doesn't matter what food you think you're eating that's healthy. There's something that they've done to it to shorten our lives. And I'm telling you, we need to get to drink from this living waters somehow before we're dead. And I'm telling you, it's right over there at the end of your compass. And it's being rubbed in our face that you were birthed into this place and you will be birthed out of this place. You know, you hear that song, she's a brick house, she's mighty. Just, that's what you're in right now. You're in the brick house right now. But there's an exit hole. And what I'm telling you is that he's pointing to the exit hole. It's right over there. It's at the center of the dish. And we need to get there before we're dead and drink from that living waters. It's just that simple, people. And I know you don't want to believe it because you've been lied to your whole lives, but this is what it is. Go watch. You want to see some crazy shit? There's the Paracelsus. He has a book where he shows people how to make a homunculus, a succubus, an incubus. Now, homunculus, they take an egg and some sperm in an injector, and they make a hole. You got to see this. And then they inject it in there, and then if you feed it blood in over 44 days or something like 40, 50 days or something, this thing will grow up to be a little person. Go see that shit. You can see these experiments these people are doing. And the succubus is when they murder a woman with a baby inside of her, or something crazy, something horrible. I can't even explain it to you. It's something crazy. But what's born out of this thing that they do is an incubus or a succubus, depending on if the baby was a male or a female, that they murdered inside the mother to make this creature, the incubus or succubus. That's how it does. It's two people that are murdered at the same time. It's the mother and a daughter, or what is a mother and a son. And whatever they do with this, what ends up being birthed out when they're done is either the incubus or succubus. That's how that's done. Paracelsus, in his books, explain this type of stuff. Everything you think you know to be true is a lie. I'm telling you, everything's hiding right there in plain sight. That you're baptized in water. You know, you go into a church and you put the holy water on your head, showing you're birthed into this world. No, you're birthed out of this world. You were birthed into this world. And like I show this all the time, you will be birthed out of this world. Now, you see I put over here, endless witches. Every word you speak is a magic spell. So don't say, oh, you read Paracelsus, you're a little witch. Every word you speak is a magic spell. As I explained, the sine wave, you sign on the line, you sign on the X. Every act that you do is an act. You're on the fucking chessboard right now, and I'm telling you, you're the black hole. You're the black hole at the center of your heart. And what I'm telling you is that, let's go over string theory as an example. Bear with me for a second. So you see an MRI sheet. Okay, now you picture R2-D2, he projects Princess Leia, but if you turn around to the side, you'll see it's a thin sheet, like a sheet of paper. It only looks three-dimensional from when you're looking at the front or the back, but if you go to the side, it turns into a sheet of paper. This is like the MRI, the strings. You're like a string on the sheet of paper. It only looks three-dimensional from the top or the bottom, but from the side view of this place, it's like a TV, a flat sheet of paper. So, I know that sounds crazy, but it's the electromagnetic spectrum and MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, okay, your avatar. Every thought you have collapses the wave function and brings something into reality. You want a sandwich? You'll collapse the wave function and go get yourself some bread and mayo, whatever, and you will make that happen. Okay, your avatar, there's another side of you. It's on the other side of that sheet of paper that we're on. We need to get to the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish. Okay? It's like they rub it in our face. I see it like KISS, 99.99 KISS FM. We need to go in that hole, and X, that's like you put X's and O's, that's the kiss, and then you have the hug. We will go into that hole, and when we pop out the other side, we will be in the land of perpetual twilight. Everything's upside down. Everything that's ever being shown to you is upside down. So when you think of string theory, you're going to think of MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, and that your avatar, there's a three-dimensional body somewhere else. You're going to need to get through the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish, back to your 3D body. Right now, you're in your avatar, on the gridiron. you're playing a game. You're probably sleeping with a whole suit on right now like they show you in movies. Okay? And we're in this crystal ball, and there's another side that we need to get to, and we're going to get there through the Holy of Holies. But right now, string theory, you're a vibration, you're a string on this gridiron bumping into other strings. You're a string on the gridiron bumping into other strings. Okay? And you're leaving shit in your wake. And what I'm telling you is what I'm leaving in my wake is heaven on earth. Me and a bunch of people have literally spilled our blood over our intent and published it to the Ethernet. They say, so it is in your head, it's imaginary, so you write it down and you bring it into this real world. And you say it. It all started with the word. You brought it from your head and you said the word, I'm going to bring forth heaven on earth. Then you wrote down a piece of paper, spilled your blood on it, and published video of it to the Ethernet. What the fuck? You know what? The Ethernet ain't going away for a long time. Trust me. That is the magical thing in all of this is you publish that to the Ethernet right beside the rest of ours, and we will have enough people eventually side by side that heaven will actually come to earth because we willed it and it was our intent. If you intend to bring forth heaven on earth, just like if you intend to make a sandwich, you will go get yourself some bread, you will go get some ham, you'll do whatever. If you intend to bring forth heaven on earth, spill your blood on it and publish it to the Ethernet, place it right beside the rest of ours under blood over intent. And you'll see, go over there and look for yourself. All of us stacked side by side, blood is thicker than water. That's what's going to bring heaven to this earth, people. That's what's going to bring heaven to the earth. It's just that simple. You're a powerful being. You have to will it. Bring it into that. Look, all I did by accident originally was attach my intent to the original intent, as on earth as it is in heaven. Okay? That's all I did. And poof. I'm getting everything I need mentally to bring forth heaven on earth. I can see right through all this shit. Okay? So when you think of string theory, I'm telling you, think of magnetic resonance imaging. You're a vibrating string here on the gridiron, and you're bumping into other strings, and they either leave you negative or they leave you positive. You know, everything that you do is an act. I'm telling you, at the center of this chessboard is the way out of Oz. Every compass is pointing to it. It's been rubbed in our face. We need to get here before we're dead. It's just that simple. And I can't do this alone. How the fuck am I supposed to overcome a treaty and do all that shit? Okay, so ask me stupid questions like, where is it? It's at the end of your fucking compass. Every compass points to it. It's the yellow brick road. It's right over there to the center of the dish. It's just that simple. And then if you ask me, well, why am I there? How the fuck am I going to get there? I got to still wake up billions of fucking people to get us all there. I mean, some of you ask silly questions. You're like a fucking... All right, like the movie Kick-Ass. Hit girl, clearly, you hit a girl, you have sex with her, all right? You're like, you is bent and confused. That's you, you're bent and confused. Hamburger, that's the I turned to the left. You are the burger. Listen, you're the one living in Sodom and Gomorrah right now. All your food, even if it's vegetarian, has ground up babies in there and all kinds of shit. It has the HEK 293, abort a baby fetuses. You're a fucking cannibal, satanist motherfucker. You put on a black robe when you graduate. You speak magic spells. You can't see shit. And I'm telling you, you need to spill your blood over your intent. Okay? The reason there's a gay undertone in everything is because you need to get to the Holy of Holies, which is like an asshole, where Jesus places his light into the hole. And that's the way out, people. You set it up, your spear of destiny every year, your swastika. Okay, you're the black sun, you got your double cross on everything, and listen, people, you see Alien Con, this is just funny on TV, the Ancient Aliens, this Alien Con coming up, that's just funny. Go to aliencon.com, that's some funny ass shit. They're telling you it's a con, like concern, no concern. CERN is of no concern, people. You're a bunch of retards bumping their balls together. Okay, so kick ass, you can see this is, all these superheroes, and nobody can bring forth heaven on earth. That's funny. Everybody's fucking retarded. Spill your blood over your intent that you intend to bring forth heaven on earth and publish it to the Ethernet. Look, you stood her up. You know, when you're a virgin, your blood is pure. You lose your virginity, you lose your divinity. So when you stand up a girl, that's what they're telling you. It's right there. You're a stand-up guy. You stood her up. You didn't lie her down and fuck her. What I'm telling you is that Everybody's born into this through sex. You were birthed into this world. Through sex, you become hexed, and you will be birthed out of this world. When you spill your blood over your intent, somehow that hex is like lifted off of you after like 360 days. You can start seeing shit like nobody else can. Susan B. Anthony, turns out the B stands for boy. It's transgender. And it's crazy, people. We could bring forth heaven on earth from the comfort of home. It's that when all of us write out on a piece of paper that we intend to bring forth heaven on earth, and we spill our blood on it and place it side by side, and we're all blood is thicker than water, that's how we're getting out that hole, people. It's just that simple. We're gonna need to do this from the comfort of home. You see what they do to people who gather in the streets? It's that we have to do this from the comfort of home. Your resistance is futile. If it takes me 3 years pointing out the obvious, we're going to get to the fucking below deck where we get our everlasting life. We're going to fucking make it there, people.
How's it going? Thanks for joining me. You know, I see videos pushing this idea that the internet is outside of U.S. control and now in the control of the United Nations, which is funny because the internet is the New World Order itself. And everything you know is a lie. You are living on a chessboard right now. You are a pawn in a game, and you have been made retarded beyond belief. I'm going to give you a good example. Like Werner von Braun, a Nazi, right? Then you go look at his grave, and you know what you're going to see on his grave? Take a look. You're going to see that it's a Jewish grave. That's only Jewish people who make graves like that. And I'm telling you, you were fed the reverse of truth in all things. This was like everything you've ever been told. Like I showed in the previous video, Hitler with his arm up, he's pointing to the center of the dish, to the Holy of Holies, where you get your way out of the matrix. It's just that simple. He's holding his hand up showing you. It's right over there, the fountain of youth, the center of the dish where every compass points to. So this is a chessboard. It's like in a cube. You're inside of a cube like I show in videos. And at the very center is the Holy of Holies, the Holy Grail. That is the eye where we need to get to. They rub this in our fucking face. We need to get here before we're dead. And you need to help out. Some of you guys are funny. I mean, you should be making videos pointing out the obvious. We set up our Christmas trees on an X. It's the spear of destiny piercing the side of Jesus Christ who's on the cross. He goes round and round and round. That's why we have spiral lights around our Christmas tree. It's moving inward and outward. It's like picture a multi-layered cake, like a wedding cake. That's because it's the union between a light hole and a black hole, going round and round and round. That's why we dance and we do all these different things. There are no accidents, people. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole, and the one you're on is on loop. The moon is a rib of the earth, so you're looking at the grid. The grid is Adam, and a rib was taken off, placed up in the sky. It's sending down a square wave, and you know it as the moon. Moon like moony, loony, like. Look, people, we need to get rid of time, we need to get rid of money, and we need to take back this place. We need to get to the center of the dish where we find our everlasting life and our way out of the matrix. It's just as simple. There's no way to fuck this up. So when you hear people talking about New World Order and shit like that, you're on it right now watching everything you do on the internet. That is the New World Order. Everything about you is being tracked. Your cell phone's tracking you, listening to you. Anything that's plugged into Wi-Fi is listening to you 24 hours a day. You have been chipped 20 times over, and you can't see it. So you need to get your eyes on the prize, which is the center of the dish where every compass points to.
How's it going? Thanks for joining me. So picking up where we left off in the previous video, there are no forests on Flat Earth Decoded. What we're seeing here is these giant trees had giant roots that spread out across the earth, and this was a giant living creature that came out of the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish where every compass points to. And as I was explaining that there's the tree of life at the center of the dish where every compass points to, I'm explaining to you that this was powered by the astral jet. And the astral jet is created when Jesus the Son places his light into the hole at the center of the dish, and out from that hole comes the green astral jet shooting out, and that would have went through all these veins like a fiber optic system. And they say the land beneath us is 25% water and 75% land. And I was just watching a video which was explaining how water might have turned the silica place and melted it away, and water is much less important to the silica system that was here before. And when they say the flood, what I'm seeing here is a flood that was obviously liquid and melted away what was silica, a silica highway of electrical system, sort of like a short circuit was created by all this water, is what somebody described it as. So what I'm seeing here is that this is a giant organism that crept out across the earth, coming out of the Holy of Holies and powered by the astral jet. And giant trees and all that stuff, and a whole living, breathing organism spread out across the earth. And now it's gone. The trees are chopped down, and they say you fell from the trees like monkeys. You know, they're laughing at us because the core of your brain, if you look at any brain chart, you'll see it's reptilian at the core of your brain. It's responsible for fight or flight. You would be a slave class reptilian, and you're the food class, and you can't see it. And you'll laugh and say, those videos that you post are reptilian eyes and blah, blah, blah. Listen, this shit is real. You have a reptilian core to your brain. Zoom in on your own images of you when you were a child. Zoom in all those pictures and see if you can see. Like, take a picture of one of the eyes, zoom in. Take another picture, zoom in. Take another picture of that, zoom in, like with your iPhone. And you'll see that nearly everybody has at least one slit in one of their eyes. So, surely we're not monkeys, but the core of our brains, being that we have that response mechanism called fight or flight, they're telling you that's the reptilian core to your brain, that you stem from a reptilian, okay, not a fucking monkey. So when you see Avatar and all that shit, what they look like reptilian type beings and stuff, that's exactly what they're rubbing in our face. And what I'm telling you is at the center of the dish, where every compass points to, is where that creature originally crept out from. That's where heaven is. When we go through that hole at the center of the dish, when we pop out the other side, we'll see that this living creature is still alive on the other side. And it's a living giant being that's spread out across the earth. The astral light is coming out of that hole at the center of the dish, and it would have spread out all across the earth, creating this silica living being that's spread out across the earth. And what I'm explaining to you is that you can see the remnants of this being that you are inside of right now. So it's one side of a light hole is a black hole. At the center of the dish is the Holy of Holies, where the tree of life comes shooting out. That's where you need to get to before you're dead, and drink from the living waters, and you become superhuman like that. It's just that simple. A dog drinks from that water and the dog starts talking. Just like they show in movies, talking animals. Yeah, that's because they drank from this water here. And it's just like that. It's just that simple. I'm telling you, this place is a lot more interesting than you can imagine. So this living giant creature that crept out across the earth is still alive. When you go into the Holy of Holies, you will drink from that living water, and you will live forever, or you will get your way out of this matrix. It's just that simple, people. That you're inside of a giant living organism right now. And what I'm telling you is that the moon is sending down a square wave, and it's keeping all this shit from growing back. It's keeping your brain half shut off, and you need to rise above that frequency somehow. And that's going to happen through gratitude and stuff like that. So I recommend you ponder on this information for a little bit. It's going to take a little bit to sink in. that the center of the dish is where the Holy Grail is. And that used to be where the Tree of Souls was, that giant tree that they knocked down. Now there's the astral light. It shoots up, hits the parabolic mirror, and showers down on us. What I'm telling you is at the center of the dish, there's something magical there. We need to get there. It's every compass points to it. And I'm going to keep pointing this out in every one of my fucking videos until people get it. That the tree of life is right over there. It's just that simple. It's a giant astral jet shooting out. When you go over there, you drink from the living waters, and you become a super being right there on the spot. Heaven on earth is at the center of the dish. It's right over there. Every compass points to it. So when people ask, where is that? Grab a compass. There's your yellow brick road. It's right there. That's your yellow brick road. You follow the compass to the center of the dish, and you get everlasting life. It's just that simple. How's it going? Thanks for joining me. Somebody asked me to dissect this no force and flat earth, give you a deeper look at what's going on. So remember in the movie Avatar, you had the Tree of Souls at the center of their forest, that special place, the Tree of Souls. And what I'm telling you is that like the Tree of Souls would have been like the astral web that spread out across the flat earth plane, and these giant trees were silica trees, or like you have silicone chips in a computer. And the astral web, sort of like when you see in Ghostbusters, they show you all these ghosts are green. And what I'm telling you is that before these trees were knocked down, there was a living web, an astral web that spread out across the earth. Silicon trees like silicon chips. It was a superhighway of information that has been chopped down. And now what's left is these mountains, which are the roots and the stumps of these giant trees that used to spread out across the earth. At the center of the dish is the Holy of Holies, where the tree of life comes shooting out. So let's take a look at something. You go into a church, you kneel down to the feminine, okay? You kneel down to the feminine, and you place holy water on your head, okay? And you go into a church and you do the upside down cross. You go from your head to your chest, left to right, doing this upside down cross, which makes perfect sense that this is Jesus right here, because it says, as above, so below, as within, so without. You see one thumb in, one thumb out, and you see the two snakes right there, one's black, one's white. And what I'm telling you, this is as above, so below, 2 fingers up, 2 fingers down, as within, so without. This is the same story over and over and over again. At the center of the dish is your doorway to heaven, okay? So your stairway to heaven is what, like your Jacob's ladder, that's the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish where every compass points to. So I've been pointing out every compass like this one, you see, is pointing to where Jesus places his light into the hole. At the center of the dish, out from that hole comes the tree of life, shooting out, hits the parabolic mirror, and showers down on us. Before all these trees were knocked down, that astral light would have spread out across the earth through these veins, or these roots on these silica trees, sort of like silicon chips. And the land beneath us is the land of perpetual twilight. So, like for example, you see these fish over here, and it looks like the division symbol. And what I'm seeing is, like, for example, you're birthed out of your mother's water. Your father places his junk into your mother's trunk, and then 9 months later, you're birthed out of your mother's water onto the dock. And the dock doctors the papers and sends them off to the vital statistics office, and they send back to the hospital a certificate. Because when a ship berths into a port and berths out that all those goods onto a new country's soil, there's a birth certificate that's given to the captain, and that accounts for all that inventory. So that birth certificate that you have shows you that your inventory, it looks just like a warehouse receipt. It has all the numbers on the bonding paper exactly like a birth certificate is exactly like a stock certificate, with the special paper and the numbers and all that stuff. That's because you're stock and you're lost at sea. You know, there's plenty of fish in the sea, right? So what I'm getting at here is that the land of perpetual twilight is beneath us. So we have the sun above our head, which is 32 nautical miles in diameter. It spirals in and spirals out, bringing the seasons. Okay, the land beneath us has the black sun, which is stationary, and it's 800 nautical miles in diameter, and it's fixed because the astral jet has to come shooting out through that hole, hit the parabolic mirror, and shower down on us. Before, there used to be trees that light would go shooting through, and that was like the living, breathing astral web that spread out across the earth. And now that's all been chopped down, and we're living in a mining colony. Everybody is working for worthless paper backed by their own stupidity, and now their god is time. Their time is money. You will get to school on time, pay your bills on time. Everything will be done in time. You see, you go to a strip club and you make it rain, okay? You make it rain, and that's just crazy, people. So what I'm getting at is that at the center of the dish is where you're going to find the land of milk and honey. It's the land of perpetual twilight. You're going to go into the hole at the center of the dish where every compass points to, okay? And when you pop out the other side, you're going to see all those giant trees and all that shit. It still exists. It's just like the electric universe model. They said that Saturn was the primary sun. It was up in the sky, stationary. It's still exactly like that. But you need to get to the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish. And when you go through that hole and you pop out the other side, okay, you're on the division symbol right now, the chessboard. Okay? On the other side is the land of perpetual twilight. That's where we're going to find, okay, heaven and the Garden of Eden. Okay, it's right over there at the center of the dish, the Holy of Holies. Every compass points to it. So again, you walk into a church, you kneel down to the feminine, you make an upside down cross, and when you go inside a church, you'll see that there's the stained glass windows showing you that you're focusing all your intent onto the black sun, which is Satan. So the sun above your head is making your flesh, your bones, and your blood. And now that you're here, you want to bring something into reality, that's coming through the black sun. And it's just that simple. They're showing you right over here. Like when you go to marry a woman, you give her a ring, okay? That's not like a Vesca Pisces. That's like, and you put it on your limp finger. Your wedding finger is your limp finger, not like your fuck you finger, okay? It's your limp finger, showing you that you need to go where Jesus places his light into the hole. That's where the fountain of youth is. You see the pin the tail on the dawn key right there? X marks the spot. There's no way to mess this up. You know, you spin somebody around like you're in the world, like a whirlwind spinning around. That's why you spin someone around. And you blindfold them. Okay, that's sort of like on your birthday. You close your eyes and make a wish, blow out the candle, and focus all your intent onto the black sun. You go into a church, and you see stained glass windows. That's because they're blocking out the sun above your head and focusing your intent onto the black sun. Okay, the black sun, you're a black hole. Your eyes are sucking in light like a black hole. Your ears are sucking in sound like a black hole. Your taste buds and your everything in your body, you're a black hole, is what you can't see. And you're on the checkerboard right now, the chessboard. There's the hole at the center of the dish called the Holy of Holies. X marks the spot. There's no way to mess it up. And it's the two bowls, as in the Bible, as in two bowls, okay, which is one side of a light hole is a black hole. So it's one sun, okay, it's one coin with two sides. If you open up a Black's Law Dictionary, 1936 edition, and you look up the definition of a human being, you will see that it's a monster with no inheritable blood, cannot be heir to any land unless through marriage. And to get married, you need a marriage license, a certificate, showing you that you're owned, just like a birth certificate. And your children are stock owned by the government. And you are marked down as lost at sea. Your country set up a corporation in your name, and if you look up the definition of a corporation, it's dead corpse. So you would be the walking dead, literally. So what I'm seeing here is the center of the dish, where every compass points to, is the Holy of Holies. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole. Now, let's go back over here to the checkerboard. This would be Adam, the chessboard. And a rib was broken off of Adam, and placed up in the sky to make Eve. And that would be the moon, which is sending down a square wave at you, keeping your brain half shut off, where half of your brain is shut off and you can't see what's hiding in plain sight. When I see this, I see one side of a light hole is a black hole, the two bulls like the Bible, okay? The pair of ox. What I see over here is where every monster needs to get to before they're dead, at the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish. It's very simple, okay? So that all-seeing eye that they want you to believe is above your head is actually the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish, where every single compass is pointing to. It's literally right over there. Okay, see how he's pointing? It's literally right over there. See the candy cane right over there? Okay, they're telling you. Okay, what I see is the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish. Every compass points to it. It's the tree of life shooting out at the center of the dish. So before all these trees were knocked down, there would have been the astral web, which spread out across the earth. And it's just that simple. Right now, you are in the land of the wasteland. Okay, you're in the mad den. You're here to mine gold. You work for worthless paper backed by your own stupidity, and that's your God right there. Yes, you will get your children to school on time. You will pay your bills on time, your taxes on time. That's your God now, and it's worthless paper backed by our own stupidity. Every compass is pointing to the land of milk and honey. It's right over there, people. You see this? Jesus places his light into the hole, and out from that hole comes the green astral light, and that is God, the astral jet. It's very simple. There's no way to mess this up. As you see over here, they're pointing to the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish. I see an arrow pointing to the Holy of Holies. I see the Holy of Holies at the center of the dish. It's just that simple. When you go in that hole and you pop out the other side, you'll see those gigantic trees that go on forever. The astral web. They tell you the tree of souls. And just like you'll see the green ghost in Ghostbusters. Okay, it's the green astral light that's shooting out, and that would have gone through the tree of life and spread out all through the astral web. So I recommend you type in your computer, proof plants are conscious. I'm telling you that the plants are conscious, and before you bite into a plant, you need to project that in gratitude. And I'm telling you that water is conscious. You can see Dr. Amamoto will show you that water is programmable. You hold up a glass of water in your hands and you say to it, I intend to bring forth heaven on earth. I intend to worship all and exclude none. Give me the knowledge of the ages so I might bring forth heaven on earth. And then drink it. And you'll see that your water, you're a bag of mostly water. But let me go deeper into this so you understand what's going on. Okay, right now, you're in the land of hell. Okay, it's 75% water, they say, and 25% land. But the land beneath us is 75% land and 25% water. And the sun beneath us is 800 nautical miles in diameter, and it's stationary and fixed. And Jesus is the sun above your head. One side of a light hole is a black hole, so it's the same sun on loop. That's what I see when I see the thing. Is I don't see the, of course, yes, people think it's the sun and the moon, but I see one side of a light hole is a black hole, and it's on loop. This would be like the Jesus-Lucy loop, okay? Now, of course, Jesus could be like the feminine also, like the, like the menstrual blood spills out. So, like a candy cane is showing you. So it's the reason it's it's both sexes, as above, so below, as within, so without. And see the two snakes, one's black, one's white. Okay, they're showing you one side of a light hole is a black hole. See the waters like the scales? Okay, see the star in the head? And then the two horns, that's like the sun and the moon, which make up the horns. Both of them place their light into the hole at the center of the dish. So when you see Jesus is the way, they're telling you to follow Jesus' light into the hole at the center of the dish, and that's where you will get your everlasting life. It's just that simple. So the Garden of Eden, it's right over there. Every compass points to it. So when you see the Garden of Eden, these giant trees that spread out across the underworld, which is actually the overworld, we're in the underworld right now. We're in the wasteland right now. We're in the mining colony right now. And it's just that simple. So the silica trees make perfect sense. The astral web would spread out across the earth, and like silicon chips, okay, silicon trees, they've been chopped down, and your divinity has been stolen from you. What I'm telling you is at the center of the dish, X marks the spot. Every compass points to it. There's really no way to mess this up. It's just that simple. It doesn't matter what religion you think you are, what language you speak. Everybody worships the sun, and they've stopped worshiping the sun, which is a conscious living being, and now you worship a dead man that you think died on a cross. And it doesn't matter what religion you are, it's still the sun, and you think it's not the sun, you think it's something different. And what I'm telling you is when I see this, I see the yellow brick road. I see what every compass points to. I see that it's right over there. It's just that simple. When I see this, the grammaton, tetragrammaton, see the hole at the center of the dish? I see it. It's one side of a light hole is a black hole. It's very simple. There's no way to mess this up. And I see over here, see how one's black, one's white? As above, so below. As within, so without. See the candy cane or the question mark? If you take a candy cane and you try and figure it into a figure eight, you'll end up with a question mark. If you take a question mark and try and figure it into figure eight, you'll end up with the candy cane. And you see that? That's like the rays of the sun coming off there. And see how they come to an X at the center right there and the arrow pointing down? That's the feminine. Alright? So, when I see the stripper pole, I see like Eve, like the moon, spinning around, and then the man sprinkling the money down, which is like making it rain, the green astrolite, making it rain. So, let's just keep this simple. At the center of the dish, where the tree of life comes shooting out, hits the parabolic mirror and showers down on us. So when your body falls off of you, you'll have your astral body underneath. And things used to be much different, as you can see. All these trees have been chopped down. And I'm telling you, the land beneath us is where we need to get to before we're dead. That's where we're going to find heaven. The Garden of Eden. See that? At the center of the dish, you see that? It looks like the heavenly buildings in there. The castle of God. It's right there at the center of the dish. There's no way to mess this up. And I'm telling you right now that since your country set up a corporation in your name, you are the walking dead. And what you want to do is you want to prove that you're still alive, that you're a living being, because dead beings don't have any blood to spill. What you'll want to do is go over to your computer, type in blood over intent, and hit enter, and scroll down. You'll see, here's a video, right over here, okay? See that? It's 38 minutes long. It's on Jada Jackson channel. I explain all this stuff in great detail. I recommend you go see that. Now you see this stuff over here, satanic ritual. Let me be very clear. Satan would be the black sun. Jesus would be the sun above your head that's making your flesh, your bones, and your blood. And now that you're here, you want to bring something into reality that's coming through the black sun. And you're calling it Satan and all these horrible names and calling it evil. And that's because you're mentally retarded and you can't see anything. So I recommend what you do is you prove that you're a living being by writing out on a piece of paper, I intend to bring forth heaven on earth, spilling your blood on it, and then publishing your video right beside the rest of ours. Okay? Only zombies don't have any blood to spill. So you should talk to these people. Like ask him, how do you feel after spilling your blood over there a week ago? And you can see he's making videos because he can see stuff now because he's not a zombie anymore. And what I'm telling you is that these videos go on and on and on and on and on. When a couple of million of us are side by side, blood is thicker than water, we're going to make it to the Holy of Holies, where we get our everlasting life and our way out of here. It's just that simple. Every compass points to it. So if you ask me, what's the address, how to get to the Holy of Holies, look at any freaking compass. There it is right over there. Every compass points to it. Okay? When a couple of million of us are side by side, we're going to be strong enough of us will be, that's power, people. When a couple of million of us, blood is thicker than water, that's power to get to the center of the dish where every compass points to. So I recommend you contact these people and ask them, what is it? How do you feel after spilling your blood over your intent? And talk to these people, okay? There's hundreds upon hundreds of us here, stacked side by side. Blood is thicker than water. in the womb of creation. And that's what moves the matrix. So, you get baptized in water, and the water is the feminine. You're birthed out of your mother's water onto the dock. And the feminine is pointing to the way out. At the Holy of Holies, at the center of the dish, that's where you need to get to, the tree of life. Okay? And that's where you're going to find the kingdom of God. It's just that simple. The Garden of Eden, it's right over there. Every compass points to it. But I can tell you this, if you think that creative force is going to let you into heaven, everybody knows only the devil hides his intent. So until you spill your blood and place it right beside the rest of ours, you're just a walking dead. You're a fucking zombie.